Can we break the curse? Can we finally get the monkey off our back? Can the Eagles beat the Buccaneers? I don't know. We're going to break it down. We're going to go over the keys. We're going to talk all about it. Final 3 Phillies games this weekend. And breaking Sixers news already. Guys, trending in the AM. We're live, taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill, wherever you're watching, live or on replay. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network. Starting today at 689 subscribers. We are so close to 700, getting closer and closer to 1,000, so please hit those buttons wherever you are. And if you're watching this on Twitter, head on over to the YouTube page because it's the only place you can vote on the poll question of the day for the show. Today's poll question: what will be the result of the game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Your 4 choices: Eagles by double digits, Eagles in a close one, Bucks win big, Bucks win close. Obviously, with an Eagles channel, I'm sure the Eagles votes will be flowing in, but let's be honest with it because I think it's going to be a very interesting game. So we're going to talk all about this Eagles game, but first hit those like, subscribe, share, and poll question buttons, guys. I'd appreciate that. I'm Phil Stiefel, and yes, we are predicting this Eagles-Buccaneers game. Can they get the monkey off their back and finally exercise their Buccaneers demons? So it's something to definitely that we're going to cover in detail here. I got a whole bunch of different keys to the game for the Eagles on how they can do that and exercise their demons. Phillies final 3 home runs away from the record for Kyle Schwarber. We're going to talk about that a little bit here today as well. And breaking Sixers news: Jarrett McCain, a torn right thumb UCL, or the UCL in his right thumb, whatever. The Sixers are a cursed franchise, plain and simple. And of course, on top of all that, we're also live watch party, Ryder Cup, Team USA going head-to-head with Team Europe, 4-ball to start the day. Scotty tied. Bryson and his team one up on Rombo and his team. Rory and Tommy Ladd up on their team. So we got some live Ryder Cup breakdowns as we go as well. So there is so much to get into today. But let's get started with the Eagles and the comments. Yes, good morning, Adam. Football Friday is upon us. You commented yesterday at 6 p.m. I don't see your comment on the board, Duck. You're late. We'll set your alarm better, and then you won't miss it. Content be like. I just think I explained it. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well today. Yes, kick those Buccaneers' butts. Duck says, Bucks will lose. We get that monkey off our backs. Well, let's talk about how. How do we get that monkey off our back? How do the Eagles take care of business? Mad Chatter says, Bucks win bigly. Is bigly a form of measurement of some kind? What number does bigly equal? How do we get the monkey off our back? How do we build off the Eagles, the momentum of that big win? Is there any way the Eagles have a letdown, so to speak? Not because they're 3-0, not because of the injuries, etc. I could see a letdown coming off the high of a walk-off win. It's like hitting a walk-off grand slam to win a game. Eagles hit a block field goal for a touchdown. There's a letdown from emotions after that. You got the injuries piling up. Is this a letdown week? They got to build off the momentum, not let the momentum, make them feel too content. And I think one of the big keys to winning on Sunday for the Eagles, the Cardinals didn't win. I didn't watch much of that last night. The big key for the Eagles to win is to start fast and furious. Get number 11, number 6 involved often and early. Get A.J. Brown the ball before the third quarter. Get Devontae Smith going down the field before the fourth quarter. Getting your ball in space to your playmakers is so important. It's very important to not come out the way we came out the last couple of weeks, early in the game, with a very dry, methodical offense, predictable offense. Kevin Patullo, Jalen Hurts and company, they need to have those first 2-3 drives be successful. I mean, time of possession is going to be so key in this game because of the heat and the injuries. It's very important for us to gas their defense before our defense gets gassed. It's very important for us to score on every drive right out of the gate, preferably some of them on some longer drives. But how do you score on those opening drives? You don't wait to get arguably one of the 3 best wide receivers in football, the football. Yesterday afternoon, I was just perusing through Twitter, and I saw the video of that catch and then the broken tackle by A.J. Brown that he just basically pushed the guy out of his way and marched for a big gain from last week. It just popped up on my feed again yesterday. And I just was watching. I'm sitting there thinking, A.J. Brown is such a physical specimen. He's a great football player, but he's just such a physical specimen. You can't stop him. So the key is get him the ball early, not late, early. The passing game can set up Saquon. You get some big drives, some big passing plays. You control that clock. And then by the second, third quarter, the Bucs defense is worn down. And you can feed Saquon the ball late. Use the pass to set up the run. That's not us. This is our year. The monkey gets off our backs forever. Forever, yes. Offense have to step up strong. They cannot have a slow start, and they cannot have series without some points. Patullo has to show he's calling these plays. 100%. Kevin Patullo needs to, whatever he tapped into in the first or the final 2 quarters last week, he's got to be tapped into that again. Okay? Has to tap into that again. How does he do that? But just going with what works. Now, I heard a couple weeks ago they say they don't script the first 15 plays anymore, and I find that hard to believe. If they are scripting those first 15 plays, they got to do a better job of scripting it. Sustain long offensive drives and put up points. Keep the defense off the field for a while so we can get after Baker. I think whoever Versetti, I hate cliches. I hate cliche keys to victory. Oh, win the turnover battle, win time of possession, you win the game 9 times out of 10. Obviously. But I think in this situation, with the injuries, with the heat, that key to victory, that cliche key to victory of winning the time of possession is so much more realistically important than any time before. So sustain long offensive drives, getting the ball into your playmakers' hands. So critical. So critical to do it early. Last week, our defense was gassed. They found a little bit of extra, something deep down inside, right? But they're not going to be able to do that this week, A, with the injuries, B, 105-degree heat. You'll get gassed. You ain't going to find that gas. A.J. Brown is fault. What? You're insane. You're just trying to stir the pot early. A.J. throws just about every cornerback off his back. I mean, there is no cornerback in the NFL that can tackle A.J. Brown one-on-one. There just isn't. Not only does he have great, strong hands, not only is he a great route runner, A.J. Brown, he is just a demon in strength. The guy is just stronger than everybody else. Plain and simple. Yes, I got it on right here. We're watching Ryder Cup right now. Right now. Who's about to, you got Xander going for a putt to win the first hole over McIntyre and Hovland. Let's see. Can Xander make this putt? That Xander Cantley is just going to lull. Eddie misses it on the low side. I picked Bobby Mack and Hovland to win this pairing on my bets yesterday, Steven. These defense injuries are on Patullo. They should never have been that gassed in the first half. 100%. 100%, Duck. And that's why the offense is so key this week to this game. So key. Because you got it. You can't let the injuries. You're thin on defense. You can't let the guys that you have get gas. Seahawks aren't messing around. Yeah, I wish I watched more of that game, but I didn't last night, so it is what it is. I do I need to break out the stats? You do whatever you want, but you're just stirring the pot for shits and giggles this morning. Xander, I mean, he dropped on the low side. I can't believe I would have been playing Cam Young today. I don't know who maybe I would have done Cam Young and Ben Griffin over Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantley. Am I crazy for that? Our pass rush needs to do a better job after getting after the quarterback. 3 sacks through 2 weeks isn't enough. JD is the only one who's got most of the sacks. One guy can't do it on himself. We have gotten very good pressure, Versetti, on the quarterback. We have gotten the analytics, the pass rush win rate percentage. I don't even know how they calculated that exactly. I don't even care. But it says that we're getting pressure on the quarterback. The problem is we are not wrapping up. The fact is we're missing the quarterback. He's stepping up and scrambling. And that's a big problem. So the key is to stay in your lanes. Get that pass rush. And then wrap up. Get your hands up. Block some more passes. You can block field goals. You can knock down passes at the line of scrimmage. You can't let Baker scramble. You can't let Baker run. You can't let Baker improvise. Baker Mayfield improvising is, I mean, he's not an elite quarterback, but he's a really good quarterback. He's very good at the improvising. Goff, a.k.a. content killer, that's just your opinion, man. Grass grow or Darnold and Murray play. What? I also think how explosive the offense were in the second half opens up Barkley in the running game. Yeah, I think there's always this misconception that the running game opens up the passing game. The passing game can 1,000% open up the running game and do it, at an easier rate than the other way. 100%. That's right, James. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Subscribe if you are not. Share this out and vote on the poll question. We got 10 likes on the video so far. 13 votes, no new subscribers yet today. Trying to hit that 700 mark by Sunday. That's what I'm trying to hit on the subscriber number. I'm not blaming the injuries on anyone. They happen. It's football. Campbell and Bond looked healthy when they sprinted down to celebrate with the Davis after. Absolutely. Now, on the injury front on defense, Jihaad Campbell did practice. He's got a pec issue. Zach Bond practiced without the knee brace on. I had a little knee sleeve on. So both were limited. Lane Johnson practiced in full. Even a Dory Jackson, his groin issue, practiced a little bit yesterday. So Oberg and Fitz just went up one on Scheffler and Henley there. So the injuries outside of Nolan Smith and the other IR guys are trending in the right direction for the Eagles. We need to get home to the quarterback and put a few more sacks on it. We need the stats. I hate trying to create this almost sack stat that doesn't actually exist. It's basically the pass rush win rate, right? The almost sack pass rush win rate, same exact thing basically, right? No, we need to get home. We need to wrap up. The problem is we're missing Nolan Smith now. So it's going to be more pressure on Uche. That's going to be more pressure on Hunt. Hunt needs to step up, unfortunately. Zadarius Smith. And who's going to be the fourth guy? I think that's a big question. Who's going to be the fourth guy? Is it going to be Ojulari? Is it going to be Double O? Is it going to be Patrick Johnson, someone from the practice squad? I would like to see a little Trey Turner this weekend. So would I. I'd like to see him, even if he just gets one game in on Saturday. Hell, maybe even DH him. I wouldn't be against that, Nooms. Vic needs to dial up some creative blitz packages in our front four. Can't get to Baker. We need to make him uncomfortable and taking grass out of his helmet. But to do that, you don't just have to get the pass rush. You've got to get home, Peanut. And that's the thing. We have put pressure on quarterbacks at a very high rate early this year. The problem is we haven't gotten home. And not getting home, wow, Terrell Hatton just put it 7 miles left of the fairway. We need to get home. Baker is a great improviser as a quarterback. And if you do what you did to Patrick Mahomes, get pressure, if Patrick Mahomes can run for 60 yards, Baker Mayfield can run for 100. So you got to wrap up. Stay in your lanes. The more tired you are when you're playing increases chances of injury because you're not playing to your technique. That's fair. That's just your opinion, man. I mean, I can't believe it's taken 4 years for somebody to pull the movie quote. I mean, I've kind of used that line like 4,000 times on this show. To have a chance, Bucs need to try to shut down Hurts. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the key is always for both teams. Stop the quarterback, you win the game, right? I mean, it's a pretty cliche one as well. Campbell just needs to be better playing downhill so far. I saw you comment that on a Real News, and I've watched a bunch of Jihaad Campbell highlights. I don't want to say he's bad at playing downhill or stopping the run or whatever. What I've seen in some of the people that do all 22s and post highlight clips and stuff like that, the thing I've noticed is that sometimes when Campbell's playing downhill, he hesitates. Instead of just continuing to go downhill, hit his gap, hit whatever, he hesitates. And a half a second hesitation in football is the difference between making a play and not making a play. And I don't know if that's a lack of confidence. I don't know if that's a lack of knowledge on what his role is in the defense yet. I mean, let's be honest. He and Drew Makuba have been given way more freedom as rookies than Cooper Dejean and others, Jelix Hunt last year. So he's grading out as the top rookie so far. I mean, he's one of the best defensive players in football already, if you'd go by the grades and analytics. But he still has a little hesitation, which just goes to show how much he can still learn and get better. But I have seen that, Nooms. It's called football. Just playing the game can increase the chance of injury. Be conditioned, stay conditioned. It doesn't matter how long you're out there. Being tired is an excuse. I mean, being tired is an excuse, yes, Steven, but when you're on the field, as much as the Eagles' defense was in the first half of the football game, there are some problems. Do we change our name mid-show? The Eagles might lose on Sunday just because bad play calls. Or is no, it's to say it's a different person. That's what we'll say. Well, MMMMM. I'll make sure you're liking and subscribing. That's the big key. Getting the offense going early. Getting plays called and designed up to get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in early. Wear their defense out so you can feed Saquon in the second half. This idiot made Kellen Moore look like Bill Belichick. Maybe. TMC said all offseason, no edge will come out to bite you, brother. What? I'm going to have to disagree. When I played soccer as a midfielder, when I'd been running most of the game, I could tell my techniques weren't there. Campbell didn't do much when they went to a 6-2 front, but in pass coverage, he is Willie T. I think I don't want to, I think you're just trying to be very, I don't know, different on your conversation. Look, Campbell can get better. Campbell will get better. He has flaws still as a rookie, but I want to say he's not good at certain things. He just has room to improve on certain things. You're complaining you're comparing a sport that all you do is run versus a sport that literally can sub in and out every play. I don't get the argument here. He shuffles side to side. He did it at Timber Creek too. Yeah, I just see his feet. Like, he runs up to the spot, and then he just kind of hesitates, and then he's a second too late. USA better win this year at Bethpage. Well, Brian, I bet Team Europe plus 150 to win. Call me anti-American. I made 4 bets for today's foursomes. I only bet one Team USA, the Scheffler team, to win, and they're down right now. I'm all for Team USA winning. but my bank account, my DraftKings account, does want Team Europe. I feel like the Eagles think game plan. They've been calling what making them win it not, that it over amount of talent covering up for the shit coaching. I'm trying to dissect your words there. Look, the play calling has not been good through 5 of the 6 halves of football this year. It's obvious. But that final quarter or final half proved that they can do it. Yeah, the first half of the game, but they had halftime to rest. They had plenty of time. Look, the team was gassed last week, Steven. It was. They found a way to dig deep and still make plays in the second half. Great. Also, Matthew Stafford made some mistakes last week. Definitely. Overthrew some passes that he normally would not. Phil, we went back and forth all offseason. Y'all missing an edge on the other side. Well, we are missing an edge on the other side because Nolan Smith is now out. We can't be playing from behind going to the fourth quarter. We need to play and sustain leads. Absolutely. We need to have a big lead at some point. We need to play comfortable football at some point. Dean is much better downhill. If we have a healthy Bond, Campbell, and Dean come December, just so everybody, as a reminder, next week is when they can activate Nakobe Dean's practice window. So we are getting closer to the return of Nakobe Dean potentially if he's healthy. Philip is, look, I just go, when I bet, I don't bet with my heart. I bet with my mind. My mind says Team Europe wins. My mind says Team Europe's going to crush Team USA. They don't have Brian O'Rourke on their team. That's why Team USA. It's been the talent that's been covering up for the awful coaching. Well, I don't think we could say the Eagles have awful coaching overall. I mean, Nick Sirianni's record speaks for itself. This is some of the worst coaching on the offensive side. Again, and remember, it's 3 weeks into the season, okay? New coordinators, again, on offense, right? The offense wasn't looking so hot last year through 4 weeks. We were 2-2 last year through 4 weeks. At the bye, everyone was calling for all these kinds of changes. You can't overreact too much through the first 3, 4, 5 weeks of football till the teams get into a real rhythm, till the teams really find their identity on both sides of the football, okay? There's so much that you have to have a little patience with at this point, okay? I think we're a little overreacting today. Dean also looked good running down the sidelines to go celebrate the Davis. I mean, all expectations are that his practice window will be open next week, and hopefully within a couple of weeks we do see Nakobe Dean activated. Will he? I don't know. I think the Birds wound up even up the time of possession by. I think they won the time of possession when all was said and done. I think they won it by like 30 or 40 seconds. I respect that. Can't think with Johnson more times. Yeah, look, I'm just gonna move on from that. 3-0 is awful coaching. Exactly. How expect exactly. 3-0 is bad. Look, has coaching been great? No. Has coaching been perfect? No. Is there work to be done? Absolutely. Do the Eagles need to figure out and unlock the offense? 100%. But I have confidence that they will because I don't panic 2 minutes into a season. I understand that there's no training camp. Well, no preseason games. I understand it's Jalen Hurts' what? 47th offense coordinator in 12 years. It's almost at the point where you can't say it's Nick Sirianni's coaching tree. It's Jalen Hurts' coaching tree. You go be the coordinator for Jalen Hurts, you get a head coaching job. It's a guarantee, right? So there is some wiggle room, in my opinion. Do I want to see them be better? 100%. Do I want to see them figure it out? Absolutely. Good thing ain't a Cardinals fan. What's up, Bruce? Good morning to you. Without the defense doing their job, the Eagles would be 0-3. But the defense did do their job, and they are 3-0. The offense haven't done anything until the third game of the second half. And we're not denying that. We say it. We agree. But I'm not ready to dump on them. I've said it since day one, and I stick to my guns. You give every team 4 to 5 weeks till you truly can evaluate them. And that's why getting the offense going is my key to the game. Winning that time of possession. Getting AJ and Devontae the ball early. But it's a great comment by Keith. How much of it is bad coaching or bad play calling, and how much of it is execution? There's just as much as the new coaches needed time to get in the swing of things. The players need to get in the swing of things too. Jalen hasn't been perfect this year. Not even the least bit. Not no Super Bowl team with this idiot coach. He seems hard-headed, and he won't change his game plan. Are you talking about Patullo? Because, he was here as a coach last year as well. We went to the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni is not going to let this team not have a chance to get back to the Super Bowl. I think you're way too panicky for 3 weeks of the season where we've won all 3 games. Okay? I redid my prediction from Tuesday and reduced our score, but also reduced Tampa's score. You're going 27-24 Eagles, and it'll be close if Tampa has the last time with the ball. I don't hate that prediction. It's not one of the ones I wrote down. But I don't hate that prediction at all. I think that's very possible. I would like it to see it more comfortable than that. Tyler Higbee was shut down by Campbell when they were matched up. He's doing a very good job in pass coverage. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, let's go. Fire Nick Sirianni because we're 3-0. Coming after Super Bowl victory, right, K1? I hope you're having a bazoo hoot morning watching YouTube TV screw up the Ryder Cup right now. For those that care about the Ryder Cup, Rombo and Hatton down 1 to Bryson DeChambeau and JT. Oberg and Fitzpatrick are up 2 over Scheffler and Henley. Rory and Tommy Ladd up 1 over Colin and Harris. And Bobby Mack and Hovland down 1 to Xander and Cantlay. Just so you guys know, for you golf fans. I don't want to be like Cowboys fans and just be happy. Neither do I. And we can be critical, and we are critical. All right? I think you're just taking it maybe a little too far. I think you're just too worried too soon. If this Eagles offense looks like this by week 6, absolutely. Absolutely. Week 8, 100%. But we're 3 weeks in the season. Mind you, we played a Rams team that's projected to go deep in the playoffs. The Chiefs, who are still sort of in a dynasty. And the Cowboys, the Cowboys thought they were going to be good. Nobody else did. Well, the media did. So you got to look at also the opponents they played. The Rams are a great football team. Great chance we face them again. The Chiefs are a great football team, despite their hiccups. Hell, it might not be pretty this week. The Buccaneers are going to win their division and are 3-0. You got to take a lot into account. We had an extremely difficult schedule to start the year with a new offensive coordinator, lots of new moving pieces on this team. Patience, okay? Well, thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. I could be your honorary grandson for the weekend, okay? Why is the Eagles-Bucks rivalry not as big as it should be? They have been a problem since beating us. Absolutely agree with this, Peanut. When I think of teams that are big rivals, that rival our division rivals, I think of Chiefs, and I think of Bucks right now. I feel Tampa's run defense is good, so I hope Nick and Kevin will have a good passing plan, and AJ gets the key. Make sure AJ and Devontae have targets and catches before halftime. Just give them some targets and passes. Just a little bit before halftime, Bruce. They got to get those guys moving and going, because as soon as you get A.J. Brown, rolling, the defense has to be a little bit more conservative of the Bucks. And then you can run Saquon all over them. Jalen has carried the team. The O-line isn't playing well. Huge point right there, Keith. The O-line is not playing well. Receivers are running the wrong routes. How much of his wrong routes are bad route designs? I've seen so many times this year where multiple receivers are in the same spot. And that's a problem. I've seen that multiple times. Linebackers aren't getting to their run fits. These are the ton of execution problems. Run defense has been bad. O-line has not been good. And I don't know if it's the receivers running the wrong routes or poorly designed plays. So that's a question as well. But you're not wrong on any of this, Keith. A coach does need to know better than to leave Calcaterra into run block, a quick defensive end. People were happy A.J. Brown was open in that first play, but you just can't expect. Well, we've criticized that play from the Chiefs game for 2 weeks now. And we all know Grant Calcaterra can't block. And that is on Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, Jeff Stoutland. That's on all of them. Letting that be a thing there. Okay? Again, you go back to that first play of the Chiefs game, the feeling and vibes of this offense are totally different. As long as AJ and Jalen connect. Eagles fans want more from the team. They are underperforming like crazy. Just because they got 3 wins doesn't mean want your team to perform the best. No, I get what you're saying. I just think you're vibing in a negative way this morning. I just think you're putting too much into there needs to be major change kind of conversation through 3 weeks. I'm just a little bit more patient to let it see how it plays out. And maybe I'm a little soft because I got that Super Bowl championship last year. Maybe I'm not being as critical as I want to or normally would be because we just won again. Maybe that is part of it. But the team is 3-0 against 3 very good football teams. Well, projected 3 very good football teams. They got another tough game this week. When we're going up against the likes of the Giants and Carson Wentz-led Vikings and teams like that, if the offense is still struggling, I'm going to be extremely critical. But right now, I'm just being patient. Typos, this offense, not even performing at like 60%, underperforming like crazy. They have absolutely underperformed. And I want to see them do better this week. I need to see them do better. It's critical that they do better. Before this season, I thought our schedule was easy, but you said no, and now I can see why. Look, I've said it since day one, especially the first 5 weeks of the season were going to be extremely difficult. I projected a 3-2 start. So 3-0 is fantastic. 3-0 is a great start with this schedule. And there's no excuse if they go out and lose this week. But when you look at the big picture, if they do go out and lose this week, we're still 3-1 after a very tough start to the week or year. Seriously, Grant Calcaterra was a wide receiver in college. Was he really a wide receiver in college? I had no idea. Did not block in college players well. I'm glad he got fewer snaps. Yeah, I just don't understand why they keep trotting him out there year after year. I know they don't have other options, but you could get a guy for a vet minimum to do exactly what Grant Calcaterra does. The crazy amount of talent we have on the team, we should be at least like 18th on passing in the NFL. No, I know. And hold on. I got the exact numbers here. Our passing offense is 29th in the NFL right now. Yes, I get it. But we are 29th in offense of passing, but we are 8th in points scored. So remember that. We might not have a great passing attack, but we have the 8th most points scored per game, just so you know. We got Tampa winning outright on Sunday, money line from what I've seen from the press conference. He is not going to change his game plan. And I criticized him. I don't know if you're new to the show, MM. I criticized, it's in my notes right here. I can show you where I wrote it down. Why does Kevin Patullo sound so confident? That was from after his press conference, okay? Why? So I think me and you think the same thing. I'm just being a little more patient to see it through at least a few more weeks. I think me and you think a lot alike. We're just, our expectations in the short term are a little different. If I was your grandson, you would probably get the right sugar, unlike my current grandson who got sugar that makes your mouth and throat go numb. He'll better be ready for the shitstorm Monday. Dude, if the Eagles lose, I mean, it will be shitstorm on Monday. Of course. Of course it will be. I'd rather have a 3-0 team than a leading passer. Do we need to do better passing? Yes, but winning is all that matters, and that's 100% accurate. 100% accurate, Peanut, and that's the way we should be thinking, okay? Yes, we need to be better, but at our worst, we're still the way I like to look at it is at our worst right now, we're still 3-0. So could be worse. Can they get better? 100%. Do they need to get better? Absolutely. You got the highest cost offense in football. Yes, the offense needs to be better. You're also investing a lot of money in that offense. Get your playmakers the ball. All of that, sure. Do I think that the offense is still sputtering by week 8, that Nick Sirianni will make a change of play calling? 100%. But I'm willing to give it 4, 5, 6 weeks before I panic. Remember, Hurts is your quarterback, the best quarterback in football. Patullo is not ready for the OC, and he will keep showing it. And it very well may be the case, Duck. 100%. 100%. Okay? Are we 8th in offense? That's what I wrote down. I went through ESPN.com's and ranked it. I got us written down here at 8th in points scored. Unless I'm looking at their defense. I think I'm looking at it right. I don't know. Maybe I made an error on that. I can look it up real quick here. NFL stats, team leaders, offense complete leaders, points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the Eagles are 8th in points per game. 8th in points per game, according to ESPN.com and their stats, Nooms, which is kind of crazy, right? As bad as it's been, we're 8th in points per game. Offense points scored, probably not, but the ESPN goes on overall points per game. So, good Lord, stop with the press conference psychoanalysis. Okay. I'll ignore all press conferences. I will eliminate half my content like that. Bottom line is the Eagles' drive was 17 plays for 91 yards, so let's hope it keeps up. Absolutely. The second half of that football game, the Eagles' offense was fantastic. Let's hope they build upon it. Let's hope they figured out what worked and what didn't work. Let's hope they realize getting the beast, the football, early matters. I don't care if we go 15-2. I expect more from this team Super Bowl, and from what I'm seeing, it's not a Super Bowl team. If we don't, did you think the Eagles looked like a Super Bowl team through 4 weeks last year, Or were you calling for Nick? Like, you're new. I don't know you, and I hope you tune in regularly because I love the yin to my yang here. Okay, I love the counter to my comments here. Okay, and all opinions are welcome, and I hope you notice that I'm not ignoring your negative comments or anything. Okay. So tune in every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. A lot of people were on this show last year. We got to fire Nick Sirianni. We got to do this and that. This team does not look right. Right? So, patience. I told everybody patience last year. All right? And look what happened. We came out of the bye, a new team. Everything was great. Sometimes it takes time to get these teams going. Why can't Hurts have a Peyton Manning role by now? I think he has proven that he is better when he is calling plays at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely agree. Patullo can hold the clipboard and let him cook. And I hope we have a little bit more freedom for Jalen Hurts. I said it since the offense started sputtering in week 1. Up-tempo. After week 2, I said up-tempo. At halftime, I said up-tempo. Finally, in the second half of last week, they went a little up-tempo. It's all you got to do. A little up-tempo goes a long way. This team is too good to be happy with. We are not happy with just regular season wins. We won a Super Bowl. 1,000% won another Super Bowl. We expect this team to win multiple Super Bowls over the next couple of years. That's how talented they are, offensively and defensively. But you gotta draw on your past experiences that you know that Jalen Hurts is capable. Okay, you got to draw on your past knowledge that Nick Sirianni is not going to be content, is going to shake things up as needed. All right, you got to understand all the things that have happened in the past, and use that. Just take a deep breath, understand what's going on. Okay. Understand what can happen. This is a huge shot for it's Hatton swinging here. Ball up against a piece of a tree. Can't believe they just swung at that. He could have hurt himself there. Great shot from Terrell Hatton right there. Wow. Late again, but hey, we're finally at the last series of the ML. Dude, I'm so happy that the regular season's over. It's a long season is finally over for the Phillies. Now we can talk playoff baseball, right? Usually easier to run block than pass block, but give Juergens and Dickerson's injuries, they may be better off pass blocking until they are healthier. That's an interesting philosophy. Maybe that's true. I always said this offensive line was better at run blocking. But maybe you're right on there for that. Oh, the fans got more faith in this quarterback than the coordinator. Well, I don't even know if the fans have that much. I have that much faith in this quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in football, but that's Homer Card Phil right there talking. What would you like to correct on a few things? Kid Camden, what's up, my man? Are we seeing the final games of Schwarber as a Philly? Reds fans are hoping he comes home $100 million for 3 years. I hope it's not the end. I hope it is not the end of the Schwarber era here. All right? I hope so. All right? Phillies are going to have to pony up a big paycheck, kid. They are. Juergens does seem as spry as he was late. He does not at all. And I mean, he came off a back injury. I mean, he's hurt. He's recovering. We'll see. Scotty and Russ down 3, I know. If Scotty can't win his matches, K1, Team USA has zero chance. Zero chance, okay? It's crazy. I always liked him. I was one of the few people that thought it was a good pick. I actually, MM, it's funny. I want to, take you back. That draft. I had never recorded a single. My first ever podcast was recorded the week after the draft. Okay, I had like 50 followers on Twitter. The first tweet I ever had that blew up was my first Jalen Hurts tweet. And you know what it was? That I hated the draft pick of Jalen Hurts because I'm like my tweet. I forget the exact words of it. My first tweet was, I hate it because Jalen Hurts deserves an opportunity to go somewhere and start, but yet in Philly he's going to be playing backup to Carson Wentz. And I didn't think the Eagles were going to give up on Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts. So I was mad that Hurts got drafted here because I knew he was a starting quarterback in the NFL. Little did I know Carson Wentz was going to completely fall off the face of the planet. But so I got lucky on that, but I love Jalen Hurts in that draft. And more faith in Hurts than Patullo because Hurts has shown us what he has and who he is. Patullo has shown nothing. Absolutely. And you're rightfully so. Patullo has a lot to prove. 100%. I know what you meant. Reds fans should wish in one hand, crap in the other, and see which fills up first. I like that. Since he needs to focus on taking down the Brewers and Mets, yeah, they probably should. No one on that O-line except for Lane is a first-round pick. That is clutch drafting. It's a great point. I mean, Dickerson was a second. Was Cam a second or a third? Mailata was a seventh. I know that. Steen was a second or third. So, I mean, second and third round draft picks are still pretty good. Should be good from the get-go. Duck has transferred his Siri hate to Patullo. It's possible. And rightfully so at this point. I always seen a better Russell Wilson inside of him. I don't know if I ever saw any comparisons in Jalen Hurts. I always kind of just felt that Jalen Hurts was his combination of Russell, maybe, combination of Tom Brady, combination of Peyton Manning because of the leadership, the never give up attitude, the personality, the team first mentality. Did he complain when he got benched for Tua? No, he was there for his team. K1, as we're surprised that Scheffler's down 3. I'm not surprised the Cowboys team is down 3 to Rory either, though. He always reminded me a little bit of Russell Wilson when he was coming out. No, I already put that up. Hurts has worked through tough times and been successful. Patullo hasn't changed anything. He hasn't changed anything in 3 games. I think that's the key to remember here. It's 3 games. 3 games that we have found ways to win, despite everything saying we should not. I feel like it's 2023 all over again. And I know some of you weren't, following along and chat in 2023 on this show somewhere. But I kind of feel like we're back to 2023 with the whole ugly wins and whether an ugly win matters or not. Is it better to win ugly than lose pretty? Okay? I know we want pretty wins, but that doesn't always happen. JT is just failing Bryson right now. Bryson down or back that match went back to even. Don't get it twisted. Duck still has charging for Knicks. Yeah. Russell Wilson doesn't really adapt his game. That's why he got benched for. I feel bad for Russell. Russell says he's not retiring or anything like that. I wouldn't be shocked if a team had an injury at quarterback that they'd make a trade for Russ. I feel bad for him. I mean, he just threw for 450 yards 2 weeks ago. Is he what he used to be? Absolutely not. But teams could do much worse than Russell Wilson. I would still take Russell over about 3 or 4 other quarterbacks in the NFL. Shout out to Marsh, who put up one heck of a season, especially if you eliminate April. 1,000% Elephant. 1,000%. The way Marsh has rebounded from his early season struggles is nothing short of awesome. Okay? Rory and Tommy Ladd were a lock for this match. I love that they didn't put Rory and Tommy Ladd up against Scotty. That's why Scotty should win Scotty and Russ should win. It's crazy. It's crazy. Nooms, you are correct. I accept Sirianni for his results, not the way he gets them. But Patullo is just not showing he has any skills to do his job effectively. Birds, what's up, Birds gang? 17-24, Birds win. Not an awful score. I'd be very content if that was the score. Very content. What matters is that players are buying in whatever's happening. However, there still is a valid eye test. Look, the eye test has to be better. We are not denying any of that. I don't think anybody is denying that the Eagles' offense needs to get better. And that's why it's one of my 2 or 3 top keys to this game. Getting them involved, getting it moving earlier, quicker. Very, very, very important. But again, the whole panic thing is something I'm not ready to do at this point. I just don't think it's necessary, so to speak, to panic at this point. There's plenty of time for them to figure this out. There's plenty of time for Kevin Patullo to learn his identity as a play caller. Let's remember, I mean, criticize the hire all you want, right? You can do that, no problem. But he's the guy. He's never done the job before of calling plays. High school, college, pros, anything. All right? He still needs to figure out what his identity as a play caller is. So let's give him a time. Let him find himself an identity against a Giants defense or something. What's up, Rick? Need I remind you all the same thing I said in 23. All wins are beautiful. If you don't appreciate the ugly wins, the universe will present you with ugly losses. And crazy, you haven't been in the chat much in the last week. It's all good. I saw a little bit of your show last night while I was lying in bed. I'm playing the role of Rick this week. The uber positive guy. Because I'm seeing things through rosy glasses, maybe. Maybe I hit something a little too much this week. I don't know what it is, but I'm very positive. The eye test says that things can get better. 1,000%. But when you play the first 3 games, the way we played the first 3 games, the opponents we played, in the situations we played, and you came out 3-0, you can use it as a building block, but understand that the team is still a winning football team. Now, if a rift starts happening between Hurts and KP, that's a 23 problem. Absolutely. So far, it's not. See, the thing is, the difference between Jalen Hurts now than 23 and that situation is Jalen Hurts has said countless times that the Super Bowl victory, the Super Bowl MVP, validated his work. It has made him a more confident quarterback in a good way, okay? He's not overconfident. He still works hard. He still does everything. But it's given him the ability. In 2023, is Jalen Hurts going up to Brian Johnson in week 3 and shouting in his face like he did to Kevin Patullo last week? No. But now that Jalen Hurts knows his way works, knows his method works, he's confident enough to do that. So I don't think there could be a rift or it's not going to completely fall apart like 23 because Jalen Hurts is more confident in himself. He's a better leader now. He's a better general on the field. Patullo has not done anything to prepare himself for the job. He won it and just backed into it by being buddies. I would love to know how accurate that is. I know a lot of us feel that way. I wonder if nobody wanted the job. Was there no one else in consideration? Who else did they talk to about it? We don't even know who the other people were. We just assumed and didn't hear anything. We heard about interviews in years past. We didn't hear anything about who was getting interviewed for this job. It's a glorious time. It is, except for being a Sixers fan. Poor old Jarrett McCain with a UCL tear in his right thumb the day before the media day. His play calling identity is playing super passive with no balls. Again, he has called big plays that have gotten poorly blocked and poorly executed. Okay? And then what happens is he calls an aggressive play, it doesn't work out, and then his ball's tucked up inside. Kind of feel like that. Like he's like, all right, I'll be aggressive. Shit, it didn't work. All right, we'll just give a handoff to Saquon up the middle and then push it. I kind of feel like he needs to see the plays work to build that confidence. And maybe the second half last week is where he built his confidence in what he's doing. Just trade AJ. Yeah. But that's why it's the key to the game. Get them the ball early, okay? Think about it. We are 3-0 and haven't played our best football yet. Yeah, Rick, you're late. I said that like 14 times in the first 30 minutes. 100%. Get used to the fact that September's now are the quasi-preseason. 100%. Again, 2-2. Remember, Rick, we were 2-2 last year going into the bye. Going into the bye last week, half of Eagles Nation wanted Jalen Hurts cut. Half of Philly Eagles Nation wanted Nick Sirianni fired. Half of Eagles Nation hated Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. What are we doing? They sat here and told everybody the same thing. Relax. It's 4 weeks. Things will get better. And look what happened. We won the goddamn Super Bowl. I honestly think Stott will be having his Daniel Murphy offensive moments in the postseason. He's quietly starting to play the best baseball of his career. As long as he can stay healthy, there's never been a doubt that Bryson Stott had potential. Never. He has never called plays on any level, so he never done the work at even the lowest levels. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm being a little patient, too. Obviously, just because, he's never done it before. Should he have gotten the job? Probably not. But he's got the job. And they're not going to fire him till midseason, at the very least. So patience. Haven't seen the show a ton lately. Any people really bitching about Patullo already? I mean, look, Rick. You can't argue that he hasn't done a great job, okay? There's definitely been some mistakes. But I think those that are complaining about him are losing sight of the fact that it is the preseason to them still. He is new at a job, okay? Things may not settle out, but they may. 3 weeks is too quickly to panic and pull trigger when you know this team is capable of winning a Super Bowl. I'm not going to sugarcoat and always say things good and be like a Cowboys fan. Oh, I get that, and I appreciate that. I'm just going to tell you to just woosah, take a deep breath. 3 weeks is too soon, okay? We can call out what's wrong. The offense play calling is not good. It is stale. No doubt about it, okay? But I'm going to wait to pull the ripcord a few more weeks. Toole did not make any of those calls in the second half. Well, according to Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo, he did. And Jalen Hurts said he did too, especially the up-tempo. The quarterback makes the adjustments on the line. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Kevin Patullo made the decision to go up-tempo? I know. I don't think I'm sugarcoating anything. I think I'm just being realistic to what the situation is at hand. Okay? No sugarcoating in it. Got news for you. Philly about to go on another parade. Look, Phillies are playing. The Phillies are ready. As ready as they'll ever be for this playoff run. I stand by that, Rick. They are as ready as they can be right now. I'm hoping the bullpen. I was originally concerned about the starting pitching. But now I'm a little concerned about the bullpen being a little tired. But we'll see. They get a nice little week to rest up. Joan Duran can relax a little bit. I hope so. The bat wagging stot would drive me nuts. It always drove me nuts when any baseball player wagged their bat too much before a pitch. I mean, I guess it's like a nervous twitch or anything, but I would think a nice, stern, steady bat would get you ready a little quicker. I don't know. I believe what the head coach said as much as I believe CNN. Well, we don't go into CNN and politics on here, but I get the reference right there because I don't believe what Nick Sirianni said either there. No up-tempo was Hurts and Sirianni. Sirianni said yes to keep his quarterback one happy. Very possible. Very possible. No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, they were down one, now they're up one, Ram Manhattan. I got to get Scheffler back on here. I got to get the Scheffler team. Man, they're on the 8th hole and they're down 3. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Team USA, though, never had a shot. Never had a shot. The Detroit Tigers have had 2 1-11 stretches this year, yet they finally stopped pissing their pants last night. Detroit and Cleveland in a dogfight. Hey, good for them. I wanted a Phillies Tigers World Series so me and Jason from Fairway to Heaven could do battle nonstop during the World Series. That's always been my goal. Yeah, Kerry Sheffield, man. He like I thought he was gonna snap his wrist. He flicked that bat around so much. For sure. 100%. Bryson on the tee here on the 9th hole, 460. Let's see him smoke one around the corner. Very conservative draw there from him. But maybe overdraw on that. Get through? Of course it got through. It's Bryson we're talking about here. Anyway, so we're almost at the top of the hour, guys. Let me do a quick refresh here on my YouTube screen over here, my side screen. Let's see how many likes and if we've gained any new followers or anything today. Let's see here as we continue to build this. We're still at 689. We're sitting at 16 likes at this video right now. So, guys, if you have not, 21 votes on the poll, which means some people voted and did not like, subscribe, share, vote on the YouTube poll question. The results of the game right now, Eagles win by double digits is 43%. Eagles win a close one, 33%. Bucks win big, 5%. Bucks win close, 19%. And it's obviously I always expect an Eagles favored poll on that question, but I'm happy to see some people understanding that this could be a close game. Brewers management basically drove Sheffield out of Milwaukee over that batwag, amongst other things. Kind of forgot he was with the Brewers anyway. Anyway, so guys, hit those like buttons. We're talking Eagles. I'm going to go through the entire NFL slate for Sunday here in a minute with my predictions. Keys to the game, time of possession, getting A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith the ball early, wrap up Baker Mayfield, get to second and short, not second and long. Huge key. Kickoff, fielding kickoffs cleanly. Key. And who covers Emeka Egbuka? Whether it be Adoree Jackson or Keely Ringo. Big keys to the game right there. I've got my 4 written down score predictions. 1 is a Buccaneers win. 3 are Eagles wins, mostly close ones. With Philly, won some money last night. Took them with the exact score. Good for you. I don't bet baseball. I bet the Phillies to win the World Series just as a fan. Have always done that. But I never bet baseball just because I'm really bad at betting baseball. I'm okay at betting football. I'm great at betting golf. But that's about it. I can't do baseball betting. It's so hard. Tampa all day by 10+ points. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Not at all. I want Eagles to get this monkey off the back. I want it so bad as well. Blow out Tampa, easy win for them. I don't know if it'll be an easy win. I could see them winning, but I don't know about an easy win. I did my best. Egbuka, am I in the ballpark, K1? Am I in the ballpark on that? That's not how it works. The play calling verbiage is coded by the coordinator. That's how the players, i.e. the quarterback, communicates with each other. The quarterback just makes adjustments to the call. What are we talking about? The play calling, the up-tempo. Tigers and Guardians in Trastros out. Trastros. Okay, gotcha, out. Won't matter. Phillies, Mariners in the World Series. Phillies, Mariners. Wow. J.P. Crawford still on the Mariners. Phillies Mariners, that would suck. West Coast games for Phillies fans. That means staying up late for World Series games. Phil's up 3-2 in Game 7. The top of the 8th is coming. Who are you putting in the 7th inning? And all options are on the table. I'm either going Strahm or Robertson. I lean towards Robinson in the 7th, Strahm in the 8th. But that could go either way. Strahm or Robertson. It's Strahm, Robertson, Duran every 7th, 8th, and 9th inning in the playoffs for me. So the G's are silent. So it's Ibuka. So the G is silent. Ibuka. So I was close. Egbuka, Ibuka, close enough. Do we know who we are playing in the MLB yet? No, because we're getting the first round bye. Right now, it's between the Dodgers and whoever grabs that last wild card spot, possibly the Mets. Most likely Dodgers or Mets. It could be some other things, but that's most likely what it's going to be at this point. Technically, we still get the 1 seed. We win out and the Brewers lose out. We sweep the Twins. And I think it's the Reds playing the Brewers this weekend. Whoever it is, if they sweep the Brewers, then yeah. The K word. Oh, Kirkring. No, Kirkring's your 5th, 6th inning guy. If Luzardo can't get through 6, you throw him in the 5th or 6th inning. That's about it. I don't think Hurts changed the verbiage. I think it's up-tempo is where Hurts made the adjustments with the players on the field. Yeah. Once you start going up-tempo, kind of hard to stop it, especially when it's working. Why so many Philly people have so much faith in this Philly team? What, the Eagles or the Phillies? Just like every other Philly team last few years. I mean, one of those Philly teams you're talking about the last few years won a Super Bowl, unless you're only talking about the Phillies. And if you're talking just about the Phillies, then it's a totally different subject. Because people will tell you, I have not been confident in the Phillies this year. Okay? You're just talking about the Phillies. Look, I have said 1,000 times on this show, I could care one rat's ass how many games the Phillies win this year. I knew they were going to make the playoffs. Everybody did. Nothing mattered until the playoffs. And I will not have confidence in them until they actually do it. They have proven 3 years in a row that they can't close the deal. So you'll get the realistic comments from me on the Phillies for sure. That seemed like it will probably have some good odds. Mets own the Phillies. Be interesting. I wonder how close the odds would be from the sports books for the series. If it was Phillies Mets, a best of 5, home field for the Phillies, you would think the Phillies would be favored, but not like it's not like the Phillies would be like minus 185. You'd have to think it would be like minus 110, minus 105 Phillies, plus 115 Mets or something like that, just because of the way they do battle. You'd have to think it'd be somewhat close series-wise there. You really would. Well, in the last few years, Eagles, Phillies, and Union have been in championship games. They have been. Only one of those teams have actually sealed the deal, though, right? So there's that. Anyway, top of the hour, Trend the AM. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Continue voting on the poll. Let me start running through some of these matchups this Sunday in the NFL. Obviously, I start I know. And why are we shocked? Nobody's shocked, right? I start the week 0-1 because I picked the Cardinals minus 1.5 last night. Or plus 1.5. I picked the Cards outright actually last night. So first game on my card here this week, Vikings at the Steelers. Steelers are 2.5 point favorites or 2.5 point underdogs in that game. Vikings are favored. Wow. I'm going to take Pittsburgh in that game there. Washington at Atlanta. Atlanta's 1.5 point favorite. Did I write these backwards? I got to go to my sheet. I think I wrote these backwards here. Did I write these backwards? Minnesota 2.5. Yeah, no, I wrote these all right here. No, I wrote the Washington one wrong. Okay. I'm going to have to double check these scores as I go. I think I messed some of these up here. So Washington is 1.5 point favorites over Atlanta. So I am going to take Washington still there in that as well. Bills, Saints, Bills, 15.5 point favorites. I'm going to take the Bills to cover. Browns at Lions. Lions are 9.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Lions this week. Panthers at Patriots. Patriots are 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Patriots as well in that game right there. Got a lot of comments to catch up on, then we'll get back. Don't disrespect the Eagles like that. Nobody give a damn about a fake sport like soccer. There's like 14 people in this city that care about them. Bo Kirkland as a closer, PS needs to stop. Yeah, I mean, maybe someday, but not right now. If we play the Mets in the playoffs, we're sweeping them. Mets suck. That would be great. I'm questioning my own the numbers I wrote down. I put some pluses and minuses in the wrong spot. That's all. They flop way more than the NBA players act like it. Well, I'm not a huge soccer guy either. Buffalo would love an MLS team, and you know it. Then lay on the field for like 40 seconds trying to get a yellow card. I love the bashing of soccer players right there. Commanders missing Daniels and McLaurin. I know. Atlanta doesn't even have a quarterback, though. There's that. There's that. All right, so we're going to move on here. Chargers at Giants. Somehow the Chargers are only 6.5-point favorites, even though it's East Coast, West Coast. I'm taking the Chargers. I almost said the Giants, but the Chargers. Skipping the Eagles game. Texans, Titans. Who gets their first win? Texans are 7.5-point favorites at home. I'm taking the Titans to cover, but the Texans will win that game. There's drama forming. I don't know if you heard C.J. Stroud talking about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I don't think he was too happy that C.J. got booted. All right? Rams 3.5-point favorites over the Colts. I'm going to take the Rams to win that game. Colts get their first loss of the season right there. Jaguars at 49ers. 49ers are 3.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Jags in that game. I'm going to take the Jags. Something special with the Jags there. Ravens at Chiefs. Who falls to 1-3? Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. Man, I'm taking the Chiefs in that game. Ravens and Lamar Jackson falling to 1-3 and are going to make a phenomenal recovery to get to the Super Bowl somehow. Don't know how, but it's going to happen. Titans cover. I agree. I believe in Danny Dimes. I do. I just think the Rams have a chip on their shoulder after last week. The Mets pitching is just about completely eroded away. Absolutely agree. Phil likes the Jaguars. It's the Jaguars. The Jaguars. The Jaguars, right? The Jaguars. All right, Bears at Raiders, last day game. Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. I love that. I'm taking the Raiders right there over the Bears. Bears stink. Then Sunday Night Football. Packers, Cowboys, Micah back in Dallas. Green Bay 6.5-point favorites. Do I dare? I'm taking Dallas plus 6.5. Not to win, but Dallas plus 6.5 in that game. Dallas fans will always believe. I always say that people who don't like soccer are more than likely just uneducated human beings. Wow, that's a stinger right there. I think that Eagles win last week broke the Rams like we did to KC. That's maybe. Eagles most likely win a close one. Seattle wasn't going to lose to Arizona. Phil, Arizona goofed against the 49ers, and that was telling. My picks, Eagles, Steelers, Lions, KC, Bills, Washington, Colts, Vegas. All good picks. Dallas covers. That's it. Going into the season, I did dear the Mets, but although they can hit, they're the 2021 Phillies. That's not a good way to be the 2021 Phillies. You don't want to be the 2021 Phillies. The last Phillies team not to make the playoffs. Guys, we're coming up on the final 20 minutes. Ryder Cup going on my side screen over here. We got lots happening. Sixers Media Day today. All right. We're going to hear from the team, the players, some of the coaches. We'll learn absolutely nothing about Jared McCain. We'll learn absolutely nothing about if and when Joel Embiid will play. But guess what? I'll be listening, and I'll be dissecting. I'll put some short videos together later today at work on the Media Day. So that's why you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my content, guys. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. So we kind of got to get to my prediction for this week's Eagles game. How do I see it playing out? How do I see whatever happen? And I kind of feel like I'm in a tough spot, okay? I don't want to sound like a homer, okay? I don't want to sound like Well, just because I'm an Eagles fan, I'm predicting the Eagles to win. But I think the Eagles found something last week. Okay? I think they found what works a little bit. I think it can't be a blowout because the Bucs are a good team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a very good football team. They are going to win their division. They're going to get to the playoffs, right? So I can't predict a 35-20 Eagles win. I also can't predict like a 35-20 Buccaneers win because their defense is just too good. So some of the scores I wrote down 20-17 Eagles. I wrote down 24-21 Bucs. I did write down 35-21 Eagles, but I don't think that's possible. All right. I've settled in right now, and I kind of feel like just going with the Eagles here. The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites in this game. Makes me sound like a homer. But I have confidence in Jalen Hurts. I have confidence in this defense. I'm going to go 27-20 Eagles, where it's actually 27-13 late in the fourth quarter, and the Buccaneers score to get it within one, miss the onside kick, and then we win the football game. I think the Eagles handle and put up some numbers in the first half. 14-3, 17-7. At halftime, they're up, and then they coast on the backs of Saquon Barkley and their defense in the second half. I think the Eagles exercise their demons and annihilate the Bucs. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that's the case. I really, truly do. Will it be? I don't know. 27-20. Arizona coordinator is an idiot with the fourth quarter play call. Homie almost choked the game away. Yeah, I tapped out pretty quickly on that game last night. Trying to finish Better Call Saul. I got 11 episodes left of Better Call Saul. 33-30, Eagles win another close one. The problem with this, Steve, is that the Eagles defense now in 24 games has only given up 24 points or more 4 times. Once last week, and it was only 26 points. The Eagles defense under Vic Fangio has only given up 30 points twice, and they lost both games. So A, if they give up 30 points, it's probably a loss. B, it's such a rare thing. Less than 10% of the time that they give up 30 points. It makes me hard to put anything over 24 or 25 points for any opponent for the Eagles. What in the presser said that Patullo has learned anything? Absolutely nothing. Again, hence why I wrote down, is he like, what did I write down? Too confident. Why? Seattle coordinator. Gotcha. Again, I saw the box score this morning. It was like, I think 7-3 when I turned it off and turned Better Call Saul on. So, yeah. 27-20 is a bold prediction, or the 27-13, then they score late. Both are pretty whatever. Yeah, exactly. 31-20 Eagles. I just don't see it. Yeah, see, the thing is, there's a reason why. So the line started at 2.5 for the Eagles, then went to 3.5, okay? The over-under started at 45.5 and dropped to 43.5. I think 27-20 might be, I really thought about predicting 20-17 Eagles victory. It's 105 degrees of kickoff. It is going to be a low-scoring game because it's going to be hard to move the football, or it's going to be hard to play defense in this game. You'd be lucky if you even get 48 points. I know. 47, 46, that's like the max right there. 24-24 tie. There's a prediction right there. Tying the Bucs? Does that exercise demons? 19-17 Bucs. Honestly, it's not the worst prediction in the world, K1. Defense still plays well. The offense struggles. The Bucs, we don't exercise those demons, but it's a close game. We hear all week. It's a building moment for this team. It's not the worst. I did write down 24-21 Bucs win as one of my options. Patullo is definitely a fake it until you make it kind of guy based on the pressures. I say that all the time about me. I fake it till I make it here every day with you guys. I haven't made it yet. I'm not making it today with no big numbers today, but yeah. Both defenses are banged up with the amount of guys on IR for the Eagles. The team that hasn't allowed 20 points isn't going to be available. That's fair, but they're banged up, but the only guy they're really missing is Nolan Smith. Campbell should play. Vaughn will play. The Eagles kiss their sister. What? I don't even get that. Look, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough matchup. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be a close game. There's a little doubt, but most likely it's going to be a low-scoring game. The numbers don't lie. The odds don't lie. The odds tell a story. They're not putting the over-under at 43.5, hoping that everybody bets that over. They're hoping everybody bets that over. That's what I meant to say. You don't make that over-under so low with these two capable offenses to just give away money. If anything, I almost want to bet the under in this game. I'm not even sure about their D. At first, I thought Godwin was playing, then Godwin didn't practice yesterday. Evans didn't practice. I know their offense is missing players, but I didn't know anybody on defense. I'm not sure on their defense who's playing and who's not playing. Wow. Fitz and Oberg up 4 on Scotty and Henley. If Scotty and Henley can't win, Team USA has zero chance in the Ryder Cup. Clearly, you guys don't have any creativity or fun with predictions. Well, I try to make my predictions realistic, okay? Realistic predictions. I could predict 45-10 also. I just know it's not going to happen. The odds didn't tell a story in the Super Bowl. That is very true. Sometimes the books get beat. I think Nooms means that it happened, but no one will be happy about it. Oh, okay, gotcha. J.P. Crawford on the Mariners roster, 265, 1258. Oh, so he's still a solid MLB player. All right. This game can easily be under 40 points. It's not Madden. People that think it's 50 points plus, that is a pretty big reach. I agree with you on that. I think low scoring is the way to go. I mean, it might clear 43.5, but if it does, it's not going to be by much. That's just my opinion on it. And I don't know if necessarily a low-scoring game means the offense does not have a successful day. It's going to be a low-scoring game because you got two good teams, but also because of the heat. The offenses are going to want to run long, slow drives, get a first down, run the ball. They're going to want 12, 15-play drives. They're going to want 5, 7, 8-minute drives. I don't even know what the average is this year. I'm just thinking of it off the top of my head now. They're going to want, say each team averages 70 plays of offense each game. They're going to want to have it 60 because they're going to want to slow, methodical, keep their defenses off the field and fresh. That less possessions equal less points. And that's just how they're going to try to play it out. That's how both teams are going to go into this game, trying to keep the possessions to a minimum. Eagles look like a 27-point max unless the defense gets points. If Eagles win, it looks like 27-6. And you say if. So you're not even saying the Eagles are going to win necessarily, Jonathan. The Eagles offense looked like that last year, early in the season. Hell, was it the Browns or who do we barely beat middle of the season? And then the offense kind of took off after a while last year. Traded J.P. Crawford so that Kepler could put the real Slam Tana at third base. Look, the J.P. Crawford thing. That was a rough one. But I don't think he's turned into anything special. Actually, didn't he win a Gold Glove maybe once? I don't know. I forget. That was a long time ago in Phillies history to me. The J.P. Crawford era or lack thereof era right there. So, whatever. But that'd be a cool World Series, I guess. I was going to say, I thought YouTube TV went black again. YouTube TV keeps showing at the top of the screen that USA is going away again at the top, right in the middle. The Ryder Cup has been freezing up on the screen a lot. I think we don't know shit about what either team is actually going to do. We have all gotten the first 3 games way wrong with how things would play out. I mean, I don't know about that. I think I've been pretty close to accurate. Let me go back here. Let me see what I predicted last week's game. Where was last week's predictions? Yeah, I did have a blowout last week. That was wrong. I had a blowout for all my predictions last week against the Rams. Definitely was wrong on that one. Let's see the week before, the Chiefs. I had the Eagles winning in a low-scoring game against the Chiefs. I had a lot of low-scoring predictions that week. So I was close that week. Let's go back to the Giants game, or the Cowboys game. I had some low-scoring close games. I had 28-24, 27-24. I went with a high-scoring game, but yeah. I can easily see in one of them team blowing other. Just feels like a 14-point game. Somebody going to win it by a large amount. I mean, if one team's offense burns out the other team's defense too quickly, it absolutely can play out that way. Just kind of doubting they win, but it's possible. Need a play from special teams or the D. The only way you're getting a play from the special teams is if you know, or the defense is if they stay fresh. I did like when he busted up the TV because the players were playing Fortnite. I could easily see Tampa or the Eagles winning by more than 14 points. Just seems like a blowout game for one of the teams. Look, hopefully if that's the case, it's the Eagles in a blowout, right? Yeah. What do we got going on here on the Ryder Cup? I know only a few of you are interested in the Ryder Cup with me. Steven, K1. But I can't believe Scotty and Henley are down 4-9. That's just insane. It's going to take a miraculous comeback. Hell, Rory and Fleetwood might only have to play 14 holes today. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, final 5-10 minutes here. If you haven't liked, share, subscribe. Obviously, if anybody wants to talk about it, Jarrett McCain, UCL tear in his right thumb. Not a serious injury, but it leads to the conversation that the Sixers team is just cursed. Quinten Grimes still unsigned. Quinten Grimes sucks. Quinten Grimes still wants $25 million a year. He's ridiculous. Sixers are offering less than $10 million a year. Ridiculous. So there's that on the table this week as well, obviously. Bryson is just so good. Nobody better than Bryson. I want Bryce. I want to see Bryson do well here at the Ryder Cup. I want to see. The only way I'd be happy if my Team Europe bet lost is if Bryson hits the winning putt and becomes Captain America like Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed, a former hated PGA player, became Captain America in the Ryder Cup. Love to see Bryson do the same thing. It'd be awesome. It definitely would be awesome. But anyway, we're coming to final 5-10. Final week of the regular season for the Philadelphia Phillies. Will Kyle Schwarber hit 3 more home runs over the next 3 days? Will he break Ryan Howard's record? It'd be cool to see. It really would be cool to see it happen. It would. And then, of course, the Eagles game. We will be live, by the way. It's already set up. You can already see it. We will be live for the entirety of the Eagles game, starting at about 12:50 on Sunday. Get your snacks ready. Join me for the live watch party. We'll have the game on. We'll talk. We'll bitch and moan about the play calling. We'll get hyped when the play calling's good. I'll shout and scream for up-tempo offense. It'll be a fun time. So if you're hanging out at home watching the game, make sure you tune in live. Make sure you stay tuned for later today for when we get some of these Sixers information out from Media Day as well. The only reason I knew I had a UCL tear was because my thumb destabilized at a certain angle. There really wasn't much pain, but it does disallow you to do some key things. Look, I know you're trying to give me details on it in one of the other threads, and I know I did the same research before you even said that. It could be a 4-week injury. He could be fine, whatever. It just more goes to the narrative that what the F is wrong with the Sixers organization, that no one can be without injury. Everyone gets hurt at some point. And it's kind of comical how constant the injuries with the Sixers are. If anything, it's a cursed franchise. Not into golf, can't get interested in that sport. Doesn't look like Kyle, Ty, or pass Howard for home runs. It doesn't look like Kyle, Ty, or pass. I mean, he's got 3 games. He could do it tonight, Jonathan. I mean, it wouldn't shock anybody for him to hit 3 home runs tonight, right? It's well within his reach to do that. But, I mean, might not happen. I think they play him all weekend. But we'll see. Hard to grip fine motor skills. Yeah, look, I mean, even if McCain missed a game or two, who cares, right? It's a long season, the NBA. We don't even know how healthy he is from his knee injury from last year. That's another conversation. But it's just a curse thing with the Sixers. And Jonathan, I know not a lot of people are into golf. That's why it's not even a Big Five sport. You know what I mean? I'm a huge golf fan. I do obviously host Fairway to Heaven on Tuesday nights during the golf season. I'm not actually a Ryder Cup fan. I'm not a fan of team golf in general. I like to see them go one-on-one with each other. You know, I like to see it as a tournament battle, not this style here. I'm not a match play kind of guy either. So, but it is what it is. Any final thoughts, you guys? You guys got 3-4 minutes here. You get your final thoughts, what everybody's plans are this weekend. I got a busy weekend at the pizza shop, as always. Lots going on. Lots going on. I think the Phillies finished 96-66, take 2 out of 3 from the Twins. On a side note, it will be interesting to see Mick Abel on Saturday night for the Minnesota Twins. He pitched 2 bad games. They demoted him again, and then they just called him up like a week ago. So this will be his 4th start with the Twins. We will get to see our buddy there, Mick Abel. Mick Abel is either going to get rocked for like 7 or 8 runs, or he's just going to completely dominate the pitchers, the hitters on Saturday. So there's that. That's a little fun story right there this weekend. Mick Abel, our prospect, going against us there. So that would be kind of cool to see how that plays out. And obviously the Phillies we got, Bader and Dejean going up against their old team. Tool needs to get off his ass and learn his job fast. Who gives a Ferrari to a person? Yeah, it's like parking a Ferrari at a trailer park, right? Patullo lives in the trailer, but he's got a Ferrari parked in the garage. You don't give somebody a Ferrari to climb the mountain. I would love if we and Cincy both swept. I mean, that would be great. Do you prefer the matchups in that case? That would mean we're playing, I forget now. That would mean we'd be playing the Reds, the Cubs, one of those teams in the next round. Maybe. Anyway. Patrick Cantlay to tie the hole. I wouldn't be shocked if he missed this. And he missed it. I called it. Patrick Cantlay, you suck. Team USA is down in 3 and tied in the other one. You can't make this shit up. Poor Keegan Bradley. You never stood a chance. Never stood a chance. Decent crowd out there at Bethpage Black for day 1, early round 1 coverage of the Ryder Cup. Decent crowd out there. He's been conservative since Nick became head coach. Can't blame Kevin entirely. I mean, I think, first off, Nick's record speaks for itself. I don't want to say they've been conservative. Put up a lot of points last year. They went conservative in the passing game because they had a running back doing something that only 7 guys had done before, rush for 2,000 yards. So I don't know if a 2,000-yard rusher is really necessarily the offense being conservative. It'd be winner of Cubs Padres. Sorry, I couldn't remember who the other wild card team would have been. Cubs Padres. We could definitely beat the Padres in a 5-game series. Cubs, we probably could beat them as well. I'd be more confident against those 2 teams than the Dodgers or Mets. I agree. Actually, if the Reds sweep, do the Reds get that last spot over the Mets? I don't know. But maybe. I think I'd feel better about the Cubs Padres. I guess. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to get started on the weekend here. Stay tuned to later today. I'll put some thoughts out there in some short-form videos on Sixers Media Day, especially if we get any good information in a positive or negative way. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll do some recaps of Ryder Cup 2 as well. But with that being said, it's been a fantastic week. Lots of good growth this week. Not today, but lots of good growth this week. Be back Sunday, 12:50 before the 1 p.m. kickoff for a watch party, guys. So I hope you all tune in for that as well. Two to just tie. I don't want them to tie. I either want them not to tie or I want them to break the record. So go for it or not. In other words, they basically a far cry from how Detroit scheme their offense. No problem with Detroit run game and passing. Hey, it is what it is. I got to wrap this up, so I can't get into too much more deep talk here. Ryder Cup 2 electric boogaloo. What? I don't even know what that means. Guys, I got to wrap this up. Everybody have a great day. See you guys on Sunday. Sunday. And if not then, I'll see you guys on Monday. Go Birds. Bubbles up.